desserts aren't always right.
But they're so sweet.
Christian Arcand.
What makes you the authority, brah?
Christian and King.
I know what the goodies.
Welcome to the Goody Room.
Weekdays noon to 3 on ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Streaming live on ESPNNewHampshireRadio.com.
So what? So what? So let's dance.
Now, here's Christian Arcand and Tom King.
Well, good afternoon, Christian and King, ESPN New Hampshire, streaming live on the ESPN Radio app and on ESPNNHradio.com. Nice to have you with us this afternoon. I'm Christian Arcand alongside Tom King. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Nice to have you here today.
I figured I'd show it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pop a little Molly on the way over?
Hey, look.
Just a little bit?
I had a cat named Molly.
You
and
did?
If she were alive today,
She would love this.
she would be looking for some kibbles and some nibbles,
I bet, yeah.
Some free cat food
Catnip
here.
is basically the Molly of
Well,
the cat
she'd be
world.
looking for some free cat food here because they're using her name.
True.
You know?
That's true.
I mean, this is a copyright infringement.
Anyway, yes, the big story today, of course, Wes Welker. 4-game suspension. Pro Football Talk coming out with their report that Welker was popping all sorts of Molly at the Kentucky Derby, where he was hanging out with Tom Brady, by the way, and throwing money all around, winning money, throwing it around, dressed up like Hunter S. Thompson, just loving life.
He was having fun.
He was. I was having a lot of fun.
I'm sorry.
You don't buy it, do you?
No, I don't buy it.
You don't think he took Molly?
No. Well, if he did,
Where do you think this report came from?
I don't know. That's a good
You
question.
think Florio made it up?
No, the sources you use can make it up, or get wrong information.
I suppose.
Or how do they know? How do they know he took Molly? You know,
Good question.
how do you know he took Molly?
Yeah.
You know, in other words,
I have no idea.
He had to tell somebody that he took Molly.
Mm-hmm. Or
You're
he
not-
had to buy it from someone.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
but how's Florio going to find out who? You know,
Maybe he was one of Florio's friends. I have no idea.
Knows the.
Weren't they
the
riding around in a
suppliers?
hot air balloon or something? I mean, they could have met all sorts of characters down there.
I
Someone
have
who might have
no
known someone who knew Florio and
I
got
have no
the
i- I have no
got the
idea.
report. I mean,
I have no
listen,
idea.
Florio's reports generally are on point.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
He doesn't just throw stuff out there.
No, he doesn't. I agree, but.
Now, why do you have such a hard time?
Well,
believing
because
this?
Welker is one of those athletes who's very careful about what he puts in his body. He has been that way,
Sure.
and he's a workout fiend and everything else. That's why he's able to bounce right off the ground and get back and play.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just, why would he do it?
I just think it's
Why would he do it? I mean, really. I mean,
because it's awesome.
no, I mean,
Because he really likes this type of music. I don't know. I mean,
Welker-
tell me.
Welker's having a great time in the land of mint juleps. You don't need Molly when there's mint juleps around. You know?
I don't know about that. I don't know if I can co-sign that statement. I mean, he's out there in Denver. He's out there with Von
no,
Miller.
I'm
That's where
talking
they
about the
party.
Kentucky Derby.
I know. I'm just saying. But now he's a Denver Bronco. I mean, it's not. He wouldn't be the first Denver Bronco to get busted for using that particular substance. Von
Or
Miller
for
got nailed with it,
Any substance.
or any substance really. Yeah, the
I know.
Broncos are having a tough road here.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, remember when Welker got thrown out of a party in Aspen or something like that because he was hammered, or he was thrown out of a wedding? Or do you remember that? It was
Yes.
It was a while ago.
Oh, yeah. No, Welker likes to have a good time.
He likes to party.
There's no question about it.
So why is it so out of the realm of
Yeah,
possibility to think he took a little dab of
yeah,
Molly?
that's true. I agree with that. But I don't know.
You get a few drinks in you, all of a sudden you think something's a good idea that maybe you wouldn't think when you were sober, when you're getting ready for a game, or when you're doing, I don't know, any of the other various
Let's
things
put it
he does
this
when
way:
you
with
saw
the
him.
NFL testing policy, it's not a good idea any time. Of
course
the year,
not.
12 months out of the year.
Definitely not.
All right.
And this has been I mean, the Broncos knew about this a while ago. This is back like what, in April? Was that when the Kentucky Derby was? April?
No, Kentucky Derby is on the first Saturday in May.
In May.
Right.
All right, May. So it was in May.
Right. I don't know when he was tested.
No, he was tested right after that. So they've known about this since late May, early April at least. And he appealed it, and he lost the appeal.
Remember,
That's why it's coming out now.
we still don't know if that yogurt had fat in it or not.
What yogurt?
the Seinfeld episode.
Oh, right.
Where they did the cat. See, that's not getting it all screwed up.
Yeah.
You don't know if a Kramer was in there doing something funny with one of the scientists,
True.
Come on.
I guess. Well, now the big discussion, and I don't really care to get into this, but the big
Verdict is
discussion now
fat.
is this actually amphetamine from the, methylamphetamine, which is what MDMA is. And by the way, This is just a courtesy to everybody out there who has been screwing this up all day long. Methamphetamine is what Walter White and Jesse Pinkman cooked in the trailer in Albuquerque, okay? That's meth. That's not the same as MDMA. Those are two entirely different things, okay? MDMA is basically ecstasy, but it's pure ecstasy, and that's called methylamphetamine or methyl something else amphetamine.
Getting a very good lesson in pharmaceuticals here.
Methamphetamine is the stuff that that's something else.
This is too funny.
Okay?
Yeah.
MDMA makes you happy, methamphetamine makes your face rot away and your teeth go all screwed up. I mean, they're very different drugs, and I just would like to put that out there in case we go forward with this discussion, which I don't really care to, because honestly, whether or not it's being, and I know that there's, certain guidelines here in the letter of the law and everything in terms of what's a performance-enhancing drug and what's a recreational drug, but, there's amphetamine right in the title, so.
The amphetamines are in whatever's in there. Whatever
right.
you took is. If amphetamines show up, that's a PED.
And his excuse basically is, I was just partying. Well, I mean, he's not saying that, but he's saying I wouldn't knowingly do anything to give myself a competitive advantage. And that's what he said in this letter to the Denver Post, which I can try and pull up here in just a second. It was, and by the way, there are some hilarious things going around the internet here of Wes Welker in like Photoshop pictures and such.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It's terrific, but let's see. Let me pull up this letter that he wrote here. He denies everything. He says, I've never done any drugs. I've never smoked weed. I've never done Molly.
Right.
He says, I don't know what a Molly is, which sounds like someone who has clearly done Molly before but is trying to sound like he hasn't would say. But that's just my conjecture there, nothing else. Here's how the email to the Denver Post started. I'm as shocked as anyone at today's news. I want to make one thing abundantly clear, I would never knowingly take a substance to gain a competitive advantage in any way. Anyone who has ever played it down with me, lifted a weight with me, eaten a meal with me, knows that I focus purely on what I put in my body and on the hard work I put in year-round to perform at the highest levels year in and year out. I want any youth football players and all sports fans to know there are no shortcuts to success, and nothing but hard work and studying leads to success. I've never been concerned. Well, that's not true. No shortcuts to success? There's all kinds of shortcuts to success.
Case in point.
Listen, that's a nice message for youth football players, but don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining here, Wes Welker. There have been athletes, and not just athletes, in all walks of life, people who have taken shortcuts to success.
This is Welker's trying to.
I know what he's doing here, but this is why it sort of is like, is this really necessary to include this? Of course, you don't have to.
Well, his agent thought it was.
Probably, yeah. He goes on, I've never been concerned with the league's performance-enhancing or drug abuse policies because under no scenario would they ever apply to me, but I now know that the procedures are clearly flawed, and I will do everything in my power to ensure that they are corrected so other individuals and teams aren't negatively affected so rashly like this. I've worked my whole life to be the best I can be. I've encountered many obstacles over my career, and this will be no different, in all caps, he says that. Thank you for the outpouring of support. I want Bronco Nation to know that no one and no thing will get in the way of our goal as a team to bring Mr. Bowlen the trophy he and this great region so deserve. It takes 2 failed tests under the substance abuse policy to get a 4-game suspension. This is no longer the quote. But 1 performance-enhancing drug positive test gives you the 4-game suspension. Broncos were mad at the timing, which had occurred last night after the team had finished game planning for their opener Sunday against the Colts. Ordinarily, the league announces suspensions on Monday to give teams adequate time to game plan. Welker's suspension was reported by ESPN last night, nearly 2 hours after the league and players' union office closed. Officially, Welker tested positive for an amphetamine. A source close to the situation said Welker tested positive for Adderall. Welker wasn't sure exactly what flagged the positive test, but he was incensed at a report he took Molly at the Derby. He does wonder if someone put something in his drink. I wouldn't have had any idea where to get Molly or what a Molly is, he said.
I don't disagree with that. Wes Welker's not that.
Where to get a Molly or what a Molly is?
Yeah, I don't.
Come on, man.
No, I don't disagree.
It's not a Molly, first of all,
right,
and second of all, it's like
Welker,
I wouldn't know where to get a cocaine. Like that's not what you say.
Yeah, but still,
he sounds like he's trying to say, like,
really
pretend like he doesn't
you're really
know.
Picking it apart.
I am, I guess, but
you really are. I disagree with that. Welker is one of those athletes who does care about what he puts in his body.
I'm sure he does.
So if that's the case, I agree with it. He probably never even paid attention to the substance abuse policy because he knew he'd never take that stuff.
Okay.
So,
Unless one night he goes out, gets hammered, and decides, yeah, I'll party with these guys.
I don't think that's the case. Here.
You don't make the same decisions when you're drinking.
Yeah, I
Tom.
know.
You can't tell me he doesn't have a history of drinking.
I know, but I don't think that's the case here. I think that there's something else. I think that
Think he took an Adderall?
that could be.
Well, that's something
I
he
don't
shouldn't be
know.
putting in his body. That clearly applies, and a lot of people
What do
have
you
gotten
take
suspended
Adderall
for
for?
Adderall for attention deficit disorder.
Oh, that's what you
or
have
to study for exams.
That's right. You
or
can
whatever.
do that
yeah.
with a prescription, can't you?
Yes, you can.
And illegally in the NFL.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So no, he wouldn't do that. Wes Welker's
Something triggered the test, and
Something triggered the test, and you
not
know
only
what?
triggered the test, but he didn't get the appeal. So whatever it was, they got it pretty concrete that he failed this
That
test.
he failed this test.
Justifiably.
Right.
Okay, so if he's so smart about putting things in his body, he missed this.
Yeah.
And if he missed this and
True.
he's got a history of, putting them away, I can't. I'm sorry. I just, maybe I'm parsing this a little too much. But when I hear him say, I don't know what a Molly is or how to get a Molly, it sounds to me like, I smell bullcrap here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think.
Young people have better noses than old people.
I don't think. Yeah. Well.
It's true.
You'd be
As you
surprised.
get older, your sense of smell gets worse.
Oh, really?
And that's why you don't smell the bullcrap here. Welker's suspension
No,
is
but I
supposed to
smell that-
begin
I
on
smell that-
Wednesday.
I smell that ham sandwich.
Yes,
across the
you
way.
smell a ham sandwich?
Yeah, I can smell it.
You do have. You
I still have
you
a
buck
sense
the
of
trend.
smell.
You're the exception that proves the rule
course I
about
am.
old people in
Of
the
course
sense
I
of
am.
smell. you're
Come on.
you're an exception that proves a lot of rules, as a matter
Come
of fact. Welker's suspension is supposed to begin Wednesday, although given the timing of the report, he said he hopes to visit the locker room and apologize to his teammates. Now, here's the thing. The first quarter of the Broncos' schedule is tough. They got the Colts.
that's a
They got the
ridiculous schedule.
Chiefs. They got the Seahawks, and they got the Cardinals.
You know what I look at this suspension
That's
as?
rough right there
You know
to
what I
have
look
no
at this-
Welker or no Matt Prater.
You know what I look at this suspension as? Really a 3-week suspension because I don't think three game suspension because I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he would have played this week anyway.
Probably.
I think they would have held him out.
And I'll be honest with you.
This
For
probably
his
could
own
be the-
health, this is
This
probably a
could
good
be
move.
the best thing for him.
Yeah, really. Which is sort of a weird way of coming around to this, but I mean, it could be. No question about it. Welker appealed the suspension 2 weeks ago in D.C. This is another productive season for him last year. He had another concussion back on August 23rd against Houston, and then everybody started talking about, well, should Welker retire or what is he doing and this sort of thing. I don't know, Tom. That all sort of adds up to me. The concussions towards the end of his career, drinking, I don't know. It all sort of makes sense to me. The NFL players get tested once a year for street drugs, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. I think once a year, once in the offseason, you get tested for street drugs and you have plenty of time and you know all about it and there's nothing to worry about. And I don't know. I don't know if this is if he did this and didn't think it would show up on the test or what. It's all very unfortunate. I mean, I feel bad for Wes Welker at this point because whatever happened here, it doesn't really sound like he's 100% in control of it. And that can be sort of a scary thing with a guy who has concussion issues. And I don't know. I mean,
No, you think he's crazy?
no, I don't know if he's crazy. I mean,
we know he's crazy.
he's crazy.
Look, Wes Welker
He's
likes
blacked
to,
out. I
Wes-
mean, people.
Wes Wel-
There's things that happen here. I
Oh
don't
boy,
know.
now we're really going down a road that's a little bit too stretchy.
Well, you're the
here.
one who says you don't believe he was just doing drugs.
No, I don't think he was.
So then what? How did this happen?
I
then?
don't. I don't know. I don't know. Ask Rafael Palmeiro. I don't know. I did not take steroids.
I have never, ever
ever take a steroid.
taken the steroids. No,
No mas.
no, Senator.
Uh,
Anyways,
it's too bad because you know what? The guys that are testing positive for whatever reasons,
Mhm.
some any drug test could be flawed. Don't know it. All right, but all those guys like Braun and Palmeiro and everything else, the guys that really are like, what? When they get test positive. Some of them are, maybe there's out of the hundreds that do, maybe there's one or two that really they screwed up on and they really didn't do anything.
right.
And they deny it emphatically. But the Brauns and the Palmeiros just wipe that all,
They do.
they give them a bad name and wipe
do.
it all away.
I know.
So,
Text
I mean,
is saying, Christian, if you don't care about Welker's story, why are you opening the show with it? I didn't say I don't care about the story. I do care about the story. I don't care about the specifics of whether it was the amphetamine from MDMA or if it was cut with some sort of other thing or any of that. Like, whatever. Like, so what? That means he did drugs. That's all that matters to me. And that's what I think probably happened here. I don't want to get into a big chemical discussion about, how this would trigger it and this wouldn't, and this composition of the drug is different from this guy. I don't care about that. That's for science people, and I'm not a science person.
Right.
And so that's what I meant when I said I don't really care about that. Texter says, is Jerry Jones going to hire Chippendales for the Cowboys party bus now? Jim Akers in Manchester. Of course, referring to Michael Sam, who has been signed to the Cowboys practice squad.
Thank God Michael Sam was signed by somebody.
He was.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
You can all sleep tonight.
I can.
Oh, my God.
I didn't have a problem with him getting cut.
I didn't have a problem with him getting cut at all.
If he didn't get signed to a practice squad, that wouldn't bother me. I mean, listen, I think that, I think it makes sense that he did get signed because he did have a good preseason for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
He did make plays, and, he deserves at least a shot out there, and he'll get it, and that's great. But I don't know if, a lot of people coming out saying, well, maybe there's a real problem with homophobia in the NFL now if Sam's not going to catch on with a team. And it's like, really? With the Rams? Why'd they draft him in the first place then? Why would they draft a guy if they're homophobic and they're just going to cut him and not have it? Like, really? I don't know. The people on that side of the argument, I didn't think made himself look too good in the last 24 hours. And then he ends up signing with Dallas anyway.
Well, Dallas was interested in him.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't interested in drafting him.
Well, they were close. They were very close to making that
I think
decision.
they had 5th, 7th round picks.
Yeah.
Something like that, and didn't take him with any one of them.
Everybody
Come on.
thought that they were going to do it, and,
Yeah.
they didn't, and they never did it. But they got him. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Anybody can sign him. Still, he's out there free for
Right.
anybody.
Exactly.
But he passed the physical with Dallas, and he had to, and now he's signed. I mean, and he signed to the practice squad.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can't have it both ways here with Michael Sam. Okay? Because he's a practice squad signing. All right? Practice squad signings usually don't end up in press conferences.
Sure.
So now it's about time. Okay? Michael Sam, whatever happens to you, you're a 50, 51, 52, 53 guy on a 53-man roster.
Right.
Eventually. Maybe you will be.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if people are upset that this is getting a press conference, well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's still sort of an important thing.
You know what? But it's almost time to,
I think it is.
to say, okay, enough is enough. Whatever happens to Michael Sam, he's just a name in a press release now.
Yeah. I agree. Texter saying, Christian, you may be a druggie who knows where to score some drugs. I'm a druggie who knows where to score
called
some
out,
drugs.
Christian. You've been called out.
I don't like the premise that begins this texter, but let's see. Christian, you may be a druggie who knows where to score drugs, but I'm 36 years old and never did any drugs, so why is it impossible that he's telling the truth? What? That sounds like a text that was written by someone who's currently on drugs. And who says I'm a druggie who knows where to score drugs? I never said anything like that. I'm just saying that I don't know that I don't want to get into a discussion about the difference between meth and, MDMA because I don't care. But that doesn't mean anything. And it's impossible that he's telling the truth. It's impossible because he failed the test and then lost the appeal. He took something. Something was in his body that triggered this thing. It's not me. I'm not telling, I mean, come on.
I know.
What do you want from me here? And I don't think Florio is just going to throw a report out there about him doing drugs at the Derby if he doesn't have some pretty good backup for it.
Well, he was tested right after the Derby.
Yeah.
And you wonder if all the hoopla with the $100 bills and everything else is.
Gee, that looks totally normal.
Well, I mean,
we all thought that at the
time.
Yeah, probably had a few in him.
He had a few in him.
Feeling real generous.
They're all
some
party.
people are mean drunk. Some people are happy
Well,
drunk.
he got a lot of money down there.
Yeah, he did. He won like $60,000.
Yeah, and 15 of it was an error.
Yeah.
It was a mistake.
And that was probably the 15 he's throwing out.
He's probably throwing out there. Yeah, exactly. So,
let me see. I'm going to pull up this Pro Football Talk report. This is Florio's report.
All right.
Okay, this is exactly how it goes. It was posted yesterday.
Let's hear it.
Wes Welker's good day at the Derby turned out to be not so good. His winnings that day exceeded $57,000, but human error resulted in being overpaid by nearly $15,000. Now he'll lose a lot more than that due to his 4-game suspension per a league source. A league source. The banishment under the PED policy happened because Welker took MDMA, a banned substance under the substance abuse policy, that had been cut with amphetamines, a banned substance under the PED policy. Mm-hmm. And then it says, here's where all the Walter Whites in the crowd will try to claim the comments on Twitter that MDMA and amphetamines are the same thing. They're not, Jesse. Yes, MDMA and meth are two different things, and MDMA does have amphetamines in it. As would happen with Cowboys corner Orlando Scandrick, pure MDMA wouldn't have triggered a violation under the PED policy. The presence of amphetamines resulted in a 1-strike, 4-game suspension. If the NFL and NFLPA had struck a deal on HGH testing, Welker likely wouldn't have been suspended. It's believed that the new drug testing policies that will become effective if when a final agreement is reached on HGH testing will result in amphetamines shifting to the substance abuse policy during the offseason. So there you go. That part at the end sort of interesting, too.
Amphetamines is always a big deal in baseball.
Yeah, amphetamines shifting from the substance abuse, shifting to the substance abuse away from performance enhancing.
Right.
But I don't think that's right. Amphetamines
keeps you awake.
Are a performance enhancing
drug.
keep
you awake.
You know?
Like, what do you think? What do you think?
Ecstasy isn't.
What do you think keeps me going every day?
I know. Anyway, and I'm the druggie.
I'm old. I need a little pick-me-up.
Hey, don't we all?
Yeah,
all right, 603-883-9900. Let's open the phone lines, 883-9900. You can text into the show at 50352, as many people are already doing.
Diddy or didn't he? Let's have a vote.
But yeah, let's do it, I guess.
Diddy or didn't he? Come on,
do you think Wes Welker was out there partying? Do you think he was at the Kentucky Derby just loving life, having some, getting the EDM on, throwing down some Molly cocktails?
You ought to really be playing my old Kentucky home.
Yeah, but you can't roll to that.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't work like that.
But evidently he did.
He tried. Anyway, we'll be right back. We got more to talk about, including the Red Sox beating the Yankees last night. How about that? We'll be right back. Christian and King.
Feels like dancing is the way to go.
The fall driving season is here, and Sullivan Tire and Auto Service has just what you need. Announcing our spectacular September tire event. We've got something on sale for every vehicle and every budget. All Goodyear and Dunlop tires are 15% off. Get instant rebates on Bridgestone, Michelin, BF Goodrich, and General tires. On our Sullivan Value line of tires, buy 3 and get the 4th one free, or the 2nd for 50% off. Save even more with manufacturer mail-in rebates on many of today's top brands. See sullivantire.com.
Nashua Wallpaper is a family-owned business that has been serving the community for over 65 years. They work with builders, businesses, architects, and homeowners. Nashua Wallpaper specializes in all types of paint and coatings, flooring, kitchens and counters, window treatments, and installations. Their experience, selection, and buying power have made them the leading and most competitive supplier of decorative products in New Hampshire. Find out more at NashuaPaint.com.
Hey folks, Tom Rowe here for the good people at Infinity of Nashua. Right now at Infinity of Nashua, they're home to one of the most unique automobiles on the planet. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid gets an astounding 30 miles per gallon with a powerful 360 horsepower engine that gives you the performance you demand from a luxury vehicle. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid is priced, get this, below $50,000. Other comparable luxury vehicles can cost you twice as much. All Infinity vehicles are backed by a 4-year, 60,000-mile warranty and a powertrain warranty for 6 years at 70,000 miles. At Infinity of Nashua, they know your time is valuable, and when it comes time to service your vehicle, Infinity of Nashua has a fleet of loaner cars for you to use, so you're not waiting around for your car to be serviced. And the service department hand washes and vacuums your vehicle after every visit. Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com. Once more, Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com.
Ever heard that expression, moving heaven and earth? We've used it in sports, also in society. It sort of reflects the determined intention to achieve a goal, regardless of the odds. There are legendary examples of players and teams who have reached deeper in the postseason to achieve those ultimate goals. In designing and building their new light-duty truck, Ram has moved heaven and earth. Full-size pickups, as you know, are a very competitive business, and battles are waged. The pursuit and the commitment of Ram has paid off with a forward-thinking, innovative, and class-leading full-size pickup that's about to bring the truck world to its proverbial knees. 2013 Ram, full-size pickup, the first one to achieve 25 miles per gallon on the highway. That beats Ford, Chevy, everyone else hands down. New 305 horsepower Penn-Star V6, best in-class fuel economy, 8-speed transmission, plus the active grille shutters, the air suspension system, found only in a Ram truck. Go to ramtrucks.com, the new 25-mile-per-gallon Ram truck hitting showrooms now. Guts, glory, Ram.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Colin Cowherd.
When Notre Dame fired Ty Willingham, I will forever give him credit for this. Tyrone Willingham is black. And many people said, he didn't get a chance. This is racist. And Tyrone Willingham, a real man, said, I didn't win enough games. It's my fault. If Tyrone Willingham selfishly would have protested and made it a national outrage, it would have hurt minority candidates. Because athletic directors would have said, good God, if you take the chance on a young coach and it doesn't work, do I have Jesse and Al on my campus? Do I have social unrest? When Michael Sam can be cut and we don't lose sleep, it is growth. Everybody's outraged today. It's racism. It's homophobia. No, there's growth. Firing Tyrone Willingham and not having protests, that is the growth.
ESPN Radio, bringing you directly to the biggest events in sports.
Center field, well hit, Hunter back, out of here!
From opening day of baseball,
Throw to the plate, safe at the plate!
right through the World Series.
Swing and a miss, and it's over. The Boston Red Sox have won the World Series.
Whether it's LeBron, Chris Paul, or Kevin Durant, when the NBA tips off, ESPN Radio is right there when a champion is crowned.
We have a new world champion. The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
And when the magic of bowl season arrives, ESPN Radio is your home for the new college football playoff.
Florida State reigns supreme. The Seminoles have completed the perfect season.
The biggest events in sports can be found right here on ESPN Radio.
We're sick of hearing these guys talk so much, so give them a call at 603-883-9900. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
Red Sox opened their series with the Yankees last night, pasting the Bombers in the Bronx. 9-4 your final score. Red Sox bats went deep 3 times, twice off starter Shane Green and once off Esmil Rogers. Mookie Betts had one of those home runs.
The delivery is hit deep to left. Back goes Gardner, turns around. This ball is gone into the seats. Mookie Betts with a blast. His 4th of the season, his 3rd on this trip. He has 10 RBIs, and it's 7-1 Boston. That ball just jumped off his bat.
Joe Kelly picked up his first win in a Red Sox uniform to improve to 1-1 since joining the team. Sox and Yanks do it again tonight. Anthony Renato going for the Sox opposite Hiroki Kuroda. Catch the game right here on ESPN New Hampshire, 7:05 start time. Over in Foxborough, Patriots preparing for their Week 1 matchup in Miami. Team named 6 captains for the season. They are on offense, Tom Brady and Dan Connolly. On defense, Vince Wilfork, Gerard Mayo, and Devin McCourty. And on special teams, Matthew Slater, all except Connolly, repeat captains from last season. The Pats and Dolphins kick off Sunday at 1 o'clock in Miami. Former Patriot and current Bronco Wes Welker has been suspended 4 games for violating the league's PED policy. Welker tested positive for amphetamines from a sample taken shortly after he attended the Kentucky Derby. I'm Christian Arcan. The Sports Center is brought to you by Bud Light. It's Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time.
Christian and King on ESPN New Hampshire, 603-883-9900.
603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. Text in the show at 50352. It's Christian and King here, ESPN New Hampshire, streaming live on the ESPN Radio app and ESPNNHradio.com. Real quick, want to remind everybody that Bellator MMA invades Mohegan Sun this Friday with a stacked card that you can win tickets to easily just by visiting our website, ESPNNHradio.com. Click up on the contest page at the top. You will see Kern and Pitbull for free. If you don't win, you can also get your tickets at the Mohegan Sun box office, Ticketmaster.com or Bellator.com. But if you do win, you won't have to pay for a doggone thing. Well, maybe you have to pay for drinks and food and stuff like that.
And the Molly.
And the Molly, yes, if you want to party beforehand. But yeah, you won't have to pay for your ticket. So check out our website, ESPNNHradio.com. Not ESPNNH.com, ESPNNHradio.com. On the top, it says contests, and you'll see the link. Click on it, enter, and you could go to Mohegan Sun for free this weekend.
Want to listen to what Mr. Brady had to say?
Brady's been on. If Belichick comes on, yeah.
Well, Belichick's already talked too.
He already did?
Yeah, Brady's better than Belichick.
That's true, and this already happened, so we'll play it now. This is a repeat from earlier. Tom Brady speaking today. He even talks a little bit about Wes Welker. Here it is right now, this coming from Comcast.
The ball's getting out quicker. A couple of times you throw in tough passes to Casey, the back shoulder fades. You seem much more comfortable with your receivers. Can you talk about your comfortability factor with the receivers this year going into the season?
Yeah, the more we're on the same page, the better we're going to be. You know, offensive football is about anticipation and about having a lot of trust and confidence in one another. So I think we built on that. You know, we're always going to make mistakes out there because football is really not a game of perfect, but, you know, we're going to try to do it as perfectly as we can. And I hope, you know, every week you just hope it's good enough to win the game. So I hope we're at a better place than we were last year because we were starting pretty fresh last year. We've had certainly some new players, some new additions. We're doing different things. Different guys are playing some different spots. But, you know, everyone's going to kind of find a role for themselves, and then, you know, go out there and we let it rip and see where we're at. And if it doesn't work, then we reevaluate. And if it works, you know, we keep doing it.
But are you more comfortable going to your receivers this year, knowing that they can make plays where maybe last year you weren't? You specifically.
Well, I'm always pretty comfortable with the guys that we have out there. I think our coaches, you know, we communicate all the time about guys that are out there, and you know, I'm not going to look, you know, that way if I don't feel comfortable with that particular player. So, you know, guys that we have this year have really worked hard to earn the trust of the teammates and the coaches, and you know, that's what it's about. So we put the work in, and now we get a chance to go out there and see where we're at.
How's it different preparing for the opener as opposed to a game in the middle of the season?
There's a lot of, I mean, the preparations are very similar. I mean, we don't have a special formula for, you know, the first week versus the 10th week. I think we just put everything we can into it, put it, you know, all your time and energy into getting ready for it. You know, certainly with this game, we've had a lot of time to prepare for it. We've known who we're going to open with for a long time. So, you know, once they cut down the roster and you kind of see where their team's at and what direction they're heading, if there's any differences from last year, then you try to prepare for those. And, you know, we're doing the same thing. So we're trying to figure out what our guys can do well and what our guys do well versus the things that they don't do well and versus the things that they do well. And, you know, that's where you put in a game planning, and then you go out there and you see how it works.
When you put together a game plan that probably has an element of surprise to it and say, okay, we're going to try and attack the things they don't do well, and that's what you set out to do, if there's an occasion you say, holy crap, they're ready for that, we were prepared. When do you start transitioning to the next thing, or do you stick with it? I mean, I know it's Josh's decision, but it must be interesting when you say, oh, we spent 5 months planning for this, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, pretty quickly. I think, you know, part of the advantage of experience is, you know, you don't have to wait till the next day to figure out how to make a correction versus a particular look or front or coverage or blitz or something like that. I think, you know, we have enough inventory in our offense to be able to immediately move on to the next thing, you know, over the course of maybe a play for Josh, maybe a series for me when we go over there and get a chance to talk about what they're doing and how they're trying to defend us. So there's always uncertainty on opening day because, you know, they've been preparing for us for a long time. We've been preparing for them for a long time. You know, we got things that, you know, hopefully we're doing a lot of things that they're not working on this week, but that's kind of the advantage of opening day, and vice versa. There's an advantage for them. So how that all evens out, you know, we'll see. Ultimately, it comes down to the fundamentals, and I think we work really hard on fundamentals because if the guy's open and I can't hit it, you know, it's bad. If we, you know, if they can't cover us, that's bad for them. I mean, I think ultimately it's about throwing, catching, running, blocking, tackling, kicking. You know, that's the real techniques of football that ultimately are going to decide, you know, most of the games in the NFL. You're not going to win much trying to surprise a particular team. And I think we've done a good job over the years with fundamental situational football, playing smart, playing tough, playing discipline. And, you know, it usually serves you well on short weeks or on opening days or on things like that.
Tom, you've always done different things to keep yourself in shape and, as you said, make sure you can make the throw and physically be ready for each season. What changes have you made this offseason, this training camp, makes you feel ready physically for this year?
You know, I think football, you know, I said football is really important to me. So, you know, a lot of my decisions on a daily basis go into trying to be the best I can for the team. So, you know, I work on a lot of things over the course of the offseason. I don't really love divulging all of those because, you know, I kind of try to let the opponents figure those things out. And But, there's a lot to work on. This game is never, like I said, a game of perfect. There's always things you can improve on. I think I've made some improvements in some areas this year that we really focused on. But, we'll see come Sunday. It's all talk with no action is not a great thing. So we got to go out there and do it.
I guess more to the point, I'm asking you how physically you feel, like what you've done physically to make sure that as you grow older, you feel better.
I feel great. Yeah, I feel great. I work hard at it. You try to pay the price in advance. And I learned a lot of things over the years that helped me hopefully gain an advantage over all the other guys that I play against. Like I said, I'll let other people try to figure those things out because, it's hard to learn those things. Sometimes you got to learn them the hard way. But I'm in a good place.
Tom, obviously the focus this week is on Miami, but any initial thoughts on Wes and what he's had to go through the last 24 hours?
I don't have a lot of thoughts or comments on that. So that's Wes's situation and their team. And obviously I got plenty to worry about with this week and this team. And, as a friend, you always hope the best. But, this is not friend time. This is opponent time. And my focus on the Dolphins.
So even with the Kentucky Derby, did you see him taking anything?
I got no comment on that. No.
Tom, with the offensive line, obviously Logan took most of the reps at left guard throughout the offseason and training camp. He's been gone for about a week now. Just where are you in your comfort level with the cohesion on the offensive line and the 5 guys who are going to be there on Sunday?
Yeah, all those guys are working hard to find a spot, find a role. When the coaches make those decisions, and that means the players have to adapt. That's kind of the way it is, and it's always been here. So, however it sorts itself out, all the guys are going to be prepared to play. You could expect a certain thing to go a certain way, and you get out there the first play of the game and someone gets injured, and then bam, you're trying to make adjustments on the fly. So, we got to be prepared for everything, and I think there's always contingency plans for everybody in the lineup, and you just can't put all your eggs in one basket all the time because, it usually doesn't go very well if you do that.
Tom, let's talk about, you talked about your defense there. What do you like about your defense this year, and how did it make your offense better?
Well, they're just, they got a great style. They're very fundamentally sound defense. We work on the fundamentals all the time. It's just tough going up against them. They do a lot of things very well. Very good secondary that is tough, aggressive, jump a lot of routes. Our defense has been tough to go against. Our linebackers are all experienced. D-line is experienced. So it's been a great work for us as an offense to go up against a really well-rounded group because that's what we're going to face here this week. A very well-rounded group that's good on all levels of the defense. They don't really give you anything. They have a lot of experienced players, and we got to use our experience that we have individually and collectively, so that we don't make a lot of mistakes. We don't let them mental errors, and our execution can be at really a high level.
What have been your impressions of Tim Wright over the past week that you guys have been working together? And what does he bring to the offense that I guess makes it difficult for others to defend against this offense, with him included?
Well, we'll see how, like I said, his role plays out. It's been fun to get to know him, and it's been a very short period of time. So, a lot of our focus has been trying to get ready for Miami, and, whatever role he can find for himself will be a benefit for us. But, he's done a great job trying to learn everything since he got here. And, I didn't get a chance to play with him last week. We'll see what happens this week. But, we're trying to get to know each other and spend extra time communicating and, gain his understanding of the things that he expects versus my expectations. It's, really a learning process.
Just to follow up on that, you say whatever role he finds for himself, but is it not like a situation where he comes in and he sort of fills a position, being the tight end, whether it's one of the other tight ends, whatever, but does he not just fill in that position and sort of learn those plays and how that works, or how does it work for you guys?
Well, on the field at any given time, there's 5 skill players, and you're trying to put your best 5 skill players out there. And, the 5 guys that give your offense the best chance to move the ball, to make a first down, to get the ball in the red area when you're down there. So if a particular player gives you an advantage or a perceived advantage, then that's what you're going to do to try to use that player. But, you're not going to just put someone out there to put them out there if they don't, if you don't feel like they're going to contribute. But, that's what we're working hard to do. We're all trying to find ways to contribute. We're all trying to find ways to develop chemistry with one another, develop trust in one another. And like I said, it's been a short period of time for him. He hasn't had a chance to go through all the OTAs, all the the mini camp, all the training camp. I mean, he got here really at the last minute, so he's been trying to understand what we're doing, and he's done a great job of doing it. But like I said, what his role is, I mean, he's going to have to, coach decides whether guys play or not. Not me. If he's out there, then, if they don't cover him, I'll probably throw him the ball.
That's Tom Brady speaking earlier this morning, and we just rebroadcast it right there. Tom King, catch anything in there that stood out to you a little bit?
Thank God he simplified it. If he's open, I'll throw him the ball.
Indeed. Indeed he will.
I mean, really. All the OTAs and all the passing camps and everything else.
He was more forthcoming about how much ecstasy Wes Welker did at the Derby.
Take a 5. It's the same thing. It's football. Go 5 steps. You can go that way. If you're open, I'll throw you the ball. That's how it is.
That's how it goes.
How much, all this other stuff is just all coach control. It really
pretty much.
Is. Really is. I guess there's blocking schemes and there's patterns you got to learn how to run and get on the same page with your quarterback.
Are you mad you didn't get to ask if he did drugs with Wes Welker, if you saw Wes Welker doing drugs at the Derby?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not mad you didn't get to be the one to ask that question?
No, I'm mad I'm missing this colossal lunch that they advertised in their email to the media. Some new vendor down at Gillette.
Go on.
Yes. I will read you these. I'll
see. This is the
this
hard-hitting Patriots info that you don't get anywhere else.
This is how we live. I'll tell you this right now.
All right, come on.
Hold on, just
get
one
to
second.
It. I'm not teasing this for the next segment, by the way.
Here we are. Hold on 1 second.
Find out what they were serving for lunch next.
Then to kick off the 2014 NFL regular season, we have a special treat for the media with a lunch presented by Splitsville.
Ooh.
The newest entertainment venue
at
Patriots
alley.
Place. I don't even know.
Splitsville's a bowling alley.
Be prepared.
You're getting food from the bowling alley?
Be prepared, and the word is...
I don't know how much I think. I don't know if I like this.
Be prepared to be bowled over, quote unquote, by their menu options and entertainment offers. I'm just ticked off that I missed that lunch.
I didn't know bowling alleys took pride in their food to this extent.
Oh, I think the new age bowling alleys have all sorts of different, bells and whistles.
I used to go to a bowling alley in Lafayette, Colorado.
You get fries and a slice of pizza, one of those hot dogs that are rolling around in the thing.
Yeah. If there were any there.
Right, exactly.
They had chicken wings, which I think came out of some sort of cave.
Out of a can.
Yeah. And,
chicken wings in a can.
Yeah, and everybody was smoking the entire time. Just smoke everywhere. Cigarette smoke in your face.
That's the way it was in
my
bowl. That's the way it was. There was I bowled at a bowling alley in Albany, New York, my league, the Palladium.
And let me tell you what. The Denver Broncos never called up that bowling alley in Lafayette and said, hey, you want to cater lunch for the media today at Broncos practice? No, sir.
Son of a gun.
I don't think that would have ever happened.
Telling you.
But then again, they do things differently.
I'm ticked off. I missed this.
603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. We'll get back to the Patriots. We'll get back to Wes Welker. I still got a rip on Tom for this Red Sox-Yankees series and the way that started. But coming up next, we will have notes from the Kingdom, get you caught up on what's going on here in New Hampshire. Stay tuned.
CSA Graphics offers the best screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items in the area. Everything is done in-house, which allows CSA to make just one or thousands of items. Whether it's t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, or uniforms, CSA will increase your brand awareness and get the word out about your company. CSA Graphics considers customer service their top priority. Gary and his staff work directly with you to create your printed version in the most efficient and affordable manner possible.
Call CSA Graphics at 978-577-6427 or visit CSAGFX.com.
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Great. It's been a while. You look good.
Thanks. Hey, can you tell? I knocked off a few pounds recently.
Yeah, I mean, you really look good.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I owe it to Dr. Waldman and his cool sculpting.
Who?
Dr. Waldman. He's right on Riverside Street in Nashua. I'm telling you, I never had a hard time with my appearance. I work out, I eat healthy, but I just couldn't get rid of these love handles until I had cool sculpting at Dr. Waldman's.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of Dr. Waldman and the new cool sculpting. The entire staff there is great. They'll sit down with you and consult on exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, they made my cool sculpting experience comfortable and safe. No incisions, no downtime. Plus, I was back at the gym the same night.
And I must say, I like what I see.
Well, then I'll see you for dinner.
Absolutely.
Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology on Riverside Street in Nashua. Make sure to mention this ESPN New Hampshire ad to get a free cool sculpting consultation with Dr. Waldman. Call 603-577-5559 or visit them online at Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com. That's Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com.
Masa Hibachi, located at 1707 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire, directly across from the Mall, New Hampshire, is a new modern Asian restaurant with a diverse menu. Masa is a great place to enjoy one of their famous specialty martinis with a friend in their large, spacious lounge area. Dine with a small party or a large party in their state-of-the-art hibachi grill. Their sushi menu is incredible with so much to choose from. Take it from me, Jim Sensabella, my kids and I love it. And you and your family will love it too at the Masa Japanese Hibachi Grill. For reservations of parties of 5 or more, call 603-626-9888. Masa Japanese Hibachi Grill in Manchester, New Hampshire, directly across from the Mall, New Hampshire. The #1 Japanese Hibachi Grill in the Manchester area.
Lease examples are 24 or 36 months with 10,000 miles a year with 3,000 cash or trade equity down. Administration, tax, title, and destination charges are not included. Must qualify for all incentives. All rebates to dealers. See dealer for details. The hottest days of summer may be in the rear view, but with 0 for 60-month financing back on select vehicles, the deals are still very hot during the Labor Day sales event at Bonneville & Son Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. There's plenty of summer and fall driving ahead of us, so enjoy it with a loaded 2014 Jeep Cherokee Sport 4x4 for just $169 a month. Drive a loaded 2014 Jeep Patriot Latitude for just $139 a month. Check out the 2013 and 2014 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the 2014 Ram 1500 Quad Cab 4x4 Express Package with a 5.7-liter Hemi, tow hitch, 20s, and more for as little as $169 a month. During the Labor Day sales event, own the only back-to-back Motor Trend Truck champion at Bonneville & Son, New Hampshire's #1 selling Chrysler dealer. Take exit 9S off I-93 in Manchester.
4 generations, 1 passion, believe in Bonneville.
BonnevilleandSon.com.
You like sports? We've got it all right here on ESPN New Hampshire. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
Red Sox opened up their series with the Yankees last night by beating up the Bombers. 9-4 your final score from Yankee Stadium. Red Sox bats going deep 3 times off Shane Green and Esmel Rogers. One of the big flies came off the bat of Daniel Nava.
1-1 to Nava. Swing, there's a drive, right field deep, way back. This ball is long gone into the bleachers. 3-run homer, Daniel Nava, and the Red Sox take a 5-0 lead.
Joe Kelly picked up his first win in a Red Sox uniform. Sox and Yanks will do it again tonight. Anthony Renato, who just got recalled, will go up against Hiroki Kuroda. 7:05 start time right here on ESPN New Hampshire. In Foxborough, the Patriots named 6 captains to start the season as they get ready for Week 1 in Miami this Sunday. The only change from last year, Dan Connolly now a captain on offense. Wilfork, Mayo, McCourty on defense, Brady on offense, and Matthew Slater on special teams, all repeats from last season. Former Patriot and current Bronco Wes Welker's been suspended 4 games for violating the league's PED policy. Welker tested positive for amphetamines from a sample taken shortly after the Kentucky Derby. Pro Football Talk, citing a league source, reported Welker took Molly at the Derby, and that triggered his positive test. In another NFL news, Michael Sam has been signed to the Dallas Cowboys practice squad. I'm Christian Arcan, the Sports Center, brought to you by Bud Light. It's Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time.
This is the sports station with granite roots. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Christian and King.
Back here on Christian and King, 603-883-9900 is your phone number, 883-9900. You can text the show at 50352. Texter says, did you hear Brady laugh and say no comment about Welker in the Derby? He's obviously Welker's drug dealer, signed Christian Arcand. Okay, we're getting a little ridiculous now here, Texter, so that's fine. We've been ridiculous before. That's kind of a staple of the show, really. Anyways, we're going to take a momentary break from the ridiculousness. I think we are anyway.
We're going to get into more ridiculous.
Oh, it's going to get more ridiculous?
Well, it's going to get into more controversy.
All right, here we go. Time for some more ridiculous notes from the kingdom.
Message for you, son.
King in the castle, king in the castle.
Notes from the kingdom.
Well, we had a story yesterday in the Telegraph by my sports colleague George Sione. We found out over the weekend, because of all the activity on Twitter, there was a tweet going around with a hashtag saying, let Raul stay. Okay?
Okay.
And the Raul is Raul, and I believe the way to pronounce this is Stedile. I-L-E.
Yeah.
Brazilian. He was an exchange student at Alvern a year ago. Played soccer very well, by the way, as you would expect, because it's so big in Brazil, where they had the World Cup and everything. Stadile's dream was to go to school and play sports in America, and not just as an exchange student. So his host family, excuse me, I'll tell them about this too. Something went down the wrong pipe. His host family and Alvern began the process.
You all right there, fella?
I swallowed some saliva.
Gross.
His host family began the process, along with Alvern High School, of switching his visa from exchange student to academic. In other words, you can stay here and go to school for more than 1 year with that. One of the stipulations when you switch, when you apply to switch to that category of a visa, is you have to stay in the country you're applying for. He went home to Brazil.
Okay.
And that technically and in effect canceled his application.
That sucks.
So now they're trying to...
Did he know? I mean, he knew that, though, right?
No, he didn't know that. No. No, they
Fine
didn't know.
print?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't know that. And what the host family was doing is they were checking online for the application approval. And you can check the and it says still in progress, still in progress. And then all of a sudden one day it said cancel.
Damn.
Or denied. Denied.
So now what's going to happen?
Or I guess they're trying to
reinstate him?
I guess
is that even the right word? Reinstate?
I guess there's no appeal process, but you can just reapply.
Oh.
And I think that's what he's doing right now. But I mean, Alvern High School is, they were in the soccer finals last year. They were runner-up. They lost in the championship game. This is not, this is a kid who wants to go to school. Alvern wants him to go to school.
Yeah.
First, you had to go to Alvern and say, okay, is this okay? And that sailed right through. And so then they decided, they did all the application process. So he is not able to play, not able to go to class, not able to do anything.
Jeez.
So that's the deal.
That's a bummer.
I know it. So that's a major thing. But even Trevor Knight was tweeting. I guess somebody told him to tweet this.
Really?
Hashtag, let Raul stay. It's going all around, the area with all the area kids. So
TK's got some pull, man.
So I know. But does he have enough pull with immigration? I don't think so.
Probably not. Not yet, anyway.
No.
Maybe someday.
I mean, it's really, it's really disappointing.
Yeah, it's sad.
For the kid.
You hate when something like that happens on like a technicality, or like
Right.
But,
if
these things are written the way they're written. It's
unfortunate. The letter said, according to the article that George wrote, the letter said the decision can't be appealed, but if there's a disagreement with the outcome, a motion to reopen, reconsider, or reopen and reconsider, which I don't know what the difference is.
What if they reconsider but don't reopen?
Can be made within 33 days.
Or if they reopen but don't reconsider. It's just like, all right, let's all sit here and just not reconsider.
We just open the door and just stare at
Open the door
right.
and just look at each other.
Right. So it could be.
I'm not reconsidering
all that could
anything.
be done. The denial notice was sent August 21st.
Okay.
So they have to wait. Oh, they can do it within 33 days.
Mm-hmm.
So they have 33 days to do it.
Okay.
So I don't think they have to wait 33 days. I think you have 33 days to do it. So and so obviously they're in the process of trying to do that and work through it and find out what the heck can happen.
All right, there's your notes from the Kingdom from Tom King. I got your soccer scores right here. We'll start with the boys. It was Lebanon beating Manchester West by a score of 6-1. Souhegan blank St. Thomas Aquinas 2-0. Interlakes a 6-1 win over Muskoma Valley. Stevens beat Franklin 11-1. Lisbon beat Profile School 3-2. Merrimack Valley a 2-1 win over Kearsarge. Wyndham top Pelham 1-0. Guilford beat Winnisquam 9-0. And Kingswood 2-1 winners over Berlin. Over on the girls' side, it was Portsmouth beating Conval 6-1. Hollis Brookline a 7-2 win over Trinity. We had Laconia beating Somersworth 2-1. Lebanon a 3-1 win over West. Merrimack Valley beat Kearsarge 5-1. Plymouth with a 5-3 win over Kennett. Pelham 2-1 winners over Wyndham. Milford beat Sanborn 4-3. Pinkerton a 5-1 win over Merrimack. Sauhegan won a nail-biter over St. Thomas Aquinas, 1-0.
A goal in the 76th minute.
And I have a tie between South and Winnicott, 3-3.
Yep, 3-3. It went a goal in the final minute.
Oh, wow.
Yes, for Nashua South to
Very
tie
cool.
it.
All right, there's your notes from the Kingdom. Scores, free Raul, and so forth. We'll come back in the next hour. Free Raul?
Well, no, let Raul stay.
I like free Raul better.
I know. But he's not in prison
I guess he isn't, but it sounds better. It works better
He's
as a hashtag.
not in prison anywhere. He's just bored.
Free Raul.
He's bored. He can't go to school or play soccer.
All right. We'll be right back at the top of the hour. We'll finally talk about this Red Sox game. Red Sox beat the Yankees. It's not a huge deal except the fact that they're pretty much ruining the Yankees' chances of getting to that wild card, which is always nice to see. And we'll discuss that next. More on Wes Welker, more on the Patriots. All coming up in the second hour. Mike Loico coming up at 2 o'clock. Keep it right here. Christian and King.
Celebrate